Solo board gaming has never been as popular as it is today. If you're a board game published now, you tend to have a solo mode. Yes, you can never beat sitting around a table with human beings and getting your analog gaming on, but there are any number of reasons why the awesome world of solo board gaming may be the right fit for your lifestyle. As such, I thought we'd compile a list of 10 fairly lightweight games that will give you a nice introduction to gaming when there's no one else around. So join me as I silently count from 1 to 10 in random order. Inspired by the chilled to the bone smash hit city building video game, Dorfromantik is a cooperative tile laying game where you work to build a scenic landscape of villages, rivers and railways. Each turn players place hexagonal tiles to complete terrain-based objectives, whilst doing the old balancing of long-term planning with immediate scoring opportunities. Dorfromantik is more like a relaxing activity than a game, yet there is some strategic puzzling for you to chew on, and unlockable content that gradually expands your gameplay options as you go. Check this one out if you really want to just lean back and metaphorically put your feet up whilst playing a game. Harmonies is a nature and animal themed tile laying and pattern building game where players create a harmonious ecosystem by optimally placing tiles of different types. The game encourages spatial planning as players aim to align features in ways that score the most points, in so doing creating an aesthetically pleasing collage of coloured wood. With simple yet deep mechanics, largely because of the limited space you have to work with, Harmonies is just a great all-round design. The tiles you're off in every round will also help you steer away from developing a one-track mind about how you want to play. What's more, it's a doddle to set up and put down. Give this a go if you want something light and breezy, but with a tight and synergistic set of mechanics. Sprawlopolis is a clever and compact cooperative city building card game, with the challenge being to design a city whilst trying to meet randomly chosen scoring conditions. Each turn you'll place just one card to expand roads, parks and other zone types, while trying to minimise inefficiencies like dead-end streets. The game's considerable replayability stems from its double-sided cards, with all of the 18 in the box having an objective on one side and the main city art on the other, which means the objectives in each game will provide a new challenge. It's crazy the amount of strategy born out of playing this small deck of cards, as one simple misstep can turn your game plan on its head. Try this if you want a hell of a lot of game that can still fit in your pocket. Schon Clever, or That's Pretty Clever, is a roll and write game that's complemented by its cascading combos. The main tenet of each round is selecting dice you want to draft in order to fill in various scoring areas on your pen and paper sheets. Each coloured grid corresponds to different scoring mechanics. Choosing the right dice, ensuring that you don't always select the highest value option so as to leave some for the second and third rolls, is a core part of the strategy. This game rewards full optimisation on your turn and hope for future dice rolls in order to trigger as many chain reactions, bonuses as possible, and leaning heavily in the solo mode to beating your own score. You'll definitely get a kick out of this if you like finding the most efficient path with what you've been given. Friday is a solo only game, here of the deck building variety. You, the player, are Friday. Not the day of the week, but Mr. Robinson Crusoe's companion, helping him survive on a deserted island. Throughout the game you'll be cycling through and encountering multiple choice hazards and pushing your luck, training Robinson by improving his deck whilst keeping the erstwhile negative cards that represent ageing and hardship as much at bay as possible. You'll find yourself finding the right balance between resource management and deck optimisation, because with or without this is a grueling game to come away from the final pirate battle victorious. This is a no-brainer for those that want a fairly light mechanical presence, but one that provides a real challenge. Coffee Roaster is a solo-only bag building game, where players take on the role of a coffee roaster, aiming to create the perfect cuppa. That's right, cuppa. Throughout the game, players draw and manipulate coffee bean tokens from a bag, trying to develop their roast whilst dreading the sight of those pesky burnt beans that can gum up your sack. Yes, there's a pre-printed coffee stain on the player board that upsets me, but me oh my, this is a delightful push your luck game, where you need to pitch the strength of your beans just right. Strategic planning is absolutely crucial as players decide when to stop roasting and evaluate their final blend. With all sorts of blends to conjure, there's bags of replayability here too. Definitely try this if you like push your luck and optimization puzzles. One Deck Dungeon is at its core a streamlined 2D dungeon crawling game, distilling the experience of exploring a dangerous lair into a compact dice and card driven system. You'll be taking on the role of adventurers, using dice to overcome enemies and traps while levelling up your abilities. You'll do this by rolling dice representing your core statistics and covering up matching symbols on the cards you encounter, with your abilities enabling the manipulation of your dice. It's then all character advancement, dungeon delving and powering up enough with a topped up health pool to face down the final boss and live to tell the tale. Consider this if you want more of a fantasy element to your solo adventures and really like the challenge of min-maxing the resources at your disposal. Turing Machine is a logical deduction based puzzle game where you'll be using an analog computer made of punch cards to crack hidden codes. Each turn, such as it is, you'll be testing your hypotheses by inserting combinations of numbers into the machine, receiving cryptic but reasoned feedback that will ultimately guide you, at least so long as you're wearing your deducing pants, towards the correct answer. Feedback will always be in the form of yes or no, true or false indicators when compared to a logical condition. These simple and elegant logic puzzle mechanics offer a vast number of possible challenges. The game itself brings a singular and brain-burning experience, which is to say, this will be the only game for you on this list if you like yourself some logical deduction. Under Falling Skies is a solo-only sci-fi game where players defend Earth from an impending alien invasion. Each turn you'll be allocating dice to different actions, researching technologies, deploying defences, or stemming the descending enemy ships. The game employs tight resource management as you roll and place dice effectively as you can to expand your options and assign efforts to research as much as you can afford to in pursuit of the win condition. This really is a game that evokes that tower defense style of gameplay where you must eke the most out of every dice placement, with then the escalating tension making every decision crucial. With a built-in campaign mode and modular difficulty, this is the game for you if you want a backs-to-the-wall challenge with a splash of storyline added into the mix. The Lost Expedition is a tough survival game where players lead a team of explorers through the Amazon jungle in search of El Dorado. You'll start with and take control of multiple explorers, each with a subtly different specialisation. You'll then be playing encounters and challenges in sequence, depending on the number found on the card. Using your icons to try and come away from each unscathed, and rinsing and repeating that process until you reach El Dorado. Managing limited resources, making difficult choices, and mitigating the dangers of the wild is the name of the game here. And with its simple yet brutal decision making and thematic storytelling, you'll be sure to enjoy this if you like the idea of balancing exploration with survival and sequencing your encounters to maximum effect. And there you go, 10 Stonewall winners for solo gamers, none of which are going to overwhelm you if this is the first time you've dipped your toes into solo gaming. There really is a huge selection of soloable games out there for all wants and needs, but these 10 are a great place to start. Alas, I've been the voice of Benji, and this video has ended.